Hello to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5 a.m. Club. I'm just sunning myself on a beach here on the mid-north coast up at Port Stephens. The beach is a little beach. I've been coming here for more than over 30 years with my family, and it's our little bolt hole. We just love coming here, and it reminds me very much of Greece. It's flat, it's still, the water temperature is great, it's small, and it's just a lovely place to be, especially on a summer's day like today, where the sun is shining, the sky is blue, and there are people everywhere enjoying this Australia Day long weekend. So I've been for my swim, I've done my vlogging, I've done my droning this morning as well. So I've played with the grandchildren. I've dug a nice big hole in the sand for them to make them a private pool by the beach. And now it's time to spend some time just going through another book summary. As I've got some downtime here, I'm not working, and I thoroughly enjoy making the most of my time. I'll do a few more book summaries, and I'll just lie down under this cover and have a snooze for an hour or so. But let's just take another journey down book summary lane. And I've got a book summary here, an old book, a book from 1912. And it fascinates me going through some old books and just listening to what the authors had to talk about. And I'm really impressed at what I'm reading. And it's interesting to discover that things haven't changed all that much. People have the same concerns, and there are the same sort of solutions available to each and every one of us. Solutions that have been time tested, to solutions that have been around forever and a day. Dare I say, even the ancient Greek philosophers talked about the sort of things that we'll be talking about today. And the book summary that we'll go through over the next 15 to 20 minutes is entitled The Master Key System. And the author is Charles Haanel, Charles Haanel, who wrote it in 1912, a long time ago. Anyway, let's see where it takes us and go through this step by step. So Charles talks to us about the importance of harmony, and he says that harmony comes with the ability to control our thoughts. The ability to control one's thoughts brings about harmony in our lives. And how many of us want peace and harmony in our lives? Because today seems to be characterized by stress, distress, and not very much harmony. So the author talks about the fact that every thought that we have is a cause that potentially leads to an effect. So the thoughts that we have in our minds will potentially lead to some sort of outcome. But most importantly, we need to manage those thoughts so that we can manage the outcomes and not become the victim of outcomes which don't serve us. So the author talks about the importance of controlling our thoughts, as we said before, to bring about desirable outcomes. Desirable conditions, desirable outcomes that improve our lives as opposed to make our lives worse. Because the author says, and he talks about the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, that the subconscious mind relies upon the watchman. Our subconscious mind relies upon the watchman who stands at the gate of our consciousness. And there is a watchman, according to this author, that stands at the gate between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Because the author draws us to the attention that our subconscious mind is our slave, and our conscious mind is the master. So the subconscious is the slave and the conscious is the master. And the subconscious will act and only act based on what the master tells it to act upon. So this is a huge awakening. It's a very, very powerful concept to know that your conscious mind is the master and your subconscious is the slave. Because the author talks about the fact that everything in the world is inextricably connected, inextricably intertwined, and that at least 90% of our mental life is subconscious. So if we know that 90% of our mental life is subconscious and that our subconscious is the slave and our conscious is the master, then it means that 10% of our life is conscious and is open to our control because it controls the subconscious. So the author then takes us further and peels the onion and gives us a deeper understanding. And he says that every thought sets our brain cells in action, leading to an expression of that thought. So that's why it's important, that's why it's critical, that's why it's paramount that we concentrate and we focus on the things that we want in our life. This is really, really important. You need to concentrate and focus on the things that are important and the things that you want in life, the outcomes that you want, rather than the things that you don't want. Because by focusing on the things that you want, you're telling your subconscious to focus on those things as well. And your subconscious will deliver those things that you focus on, that your conscious focuses on. And the author introduces us to the theory of impartiality. And he gives us a metaphor to consider and to think about a child. Have you ever planted a seed and told the child that that seed will turn into a plant? The child will always continue to ask, where's the plant? Why hasn't it grown yet? And if left to the child, they'll dig up that seed to see if the seed has begun to sprout or if the seed has begun to plant. And by being too quick to look for an outcome, to be too quick to look for a result, you kill the seed in its growth process. And similarly, people as well need to understand that once you load something from your conscious into your subconscious, you need to then let it go so it can grow, and you need to trust the process so that the seed that you've planted there by your conscious thought can take place and begin to take root and to grow, and to trust the process, as this wonderful author reminds us of. So what we need to do is, rather than dig up the seed and to ruin the process, we need to reaffirm our belief. We need to reaffirm what we want at the conscious level by affirmations. You need to affirm it, and you need to repeat it in a positive way until it becomes part of your self-image. And you need to understand that in order to get, you must first give. You must first give love. You must first give respect. You must first give help. You must first give all of those things that you want to receive. You must give. It's very, very powerful. It's a very, very powerful lesson to be able to give in order to receive. And the author then reminds us, if we're constantly sending out our thoughts of fear, worry, jealousy, anger, hate, etc., if that's all we're focusing on, then we're going to find those things everywhere we look. Because as we said, what you think about is what you give, and what you give is what you get. So you need to understand that you need to set in motion the good thoughts, the good things, the things that you want to receive, rather than the things that you fear or your irrational fears. Because you need to get that ripple effect happening. And that ripple effect happens through positive affirmation, through repetition, and through repetition with passion. Because the author tells us here, and we know it, you see it all the bloody time, that happy thoughts can't exist in an unhappy consciousness. Happy thoughts don't exist in an unhappy consciousness. So it's up to you. The power is you. The power is in you to determine what you're going to get in your life. So once again we've learnt, and we've learnt time and time again, we know it. We know it as well as anybody else. But the thing is, we don't practice it. Our consciousness determines our subconsciousness. And what we determine consciously, we get happening at the subconscious level, where the subconscious that will scour the universe to make whatever you're consciously thinking happen. And by all means, if you're thinking negatively, if you're thinking disaster, if you're thinking fear, uncertainty and doubt, then that's what your subconscious is going to deliver you. There's no doubt about it. You know, the past couple of years, people have been talking about, the fact that the economy is going to falter, the share market's going to collapse, and yet in the same time there are people who have been making money hands over fist. Who do you believe? They're both right. There are people who believe that things are going to be disastrous, and there are people who really believe that things are going to go well. And both are right, and both are happening in parallel all the time. So we also need to understand that 20 or 30 years of negativity, 20 or 30 years of negativity that some people have over their lives is a huge burden to deal with and can't just disappear overnight. But we also need to understand that you can change in a heartbeat, and that the subconscious cannot reason. The subconscious doesn't have the ability to reason. Our reasoning happens at our conscious level, and our subconscious will take us at our word. So the bottom line is, it's up to you to convince your subconscious that you are right. And once you've convinced your subconscious, then you need to walk away and not spoil the process, to disassociate yourself, but to keep those positive affirmations occurring and reoccurring, to keep the subconscious believing that it's possible. And once the subconscious believes it, it will deliver it, or at least it will try to deliver it. So that's the important lesson from this book. This book that was written in 1912, The Master Key System, by Charles Haanel, and a wonderful book. I just love looking at books that have stood the test of time and yet continue to tell us the same messages as what the current texts are telling us. Anyway, let's finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I'm well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, stay reasonable, and most importantly, let's manage our thoughts. Let's manage the master, which will control the slave, which is our subconscious, and to positively reaffirm and to look forward to a positive outcome. Live with positive expectation, and don't focus on the things that you don't want in life, because whatever you focus on, that's what your subconscious will deliver. and that's what your life will be all about. Thank you once again for joining me from Jim's 5am Club. I look forward to cranking through a number of 5am clubs over the next few days as I'm on holidays, I'm away from work, and I've got plenty of time to talk about the things that I absolutely enjoy talking about, the things that I love, and the things that I hope you may enjoy and take some value out of as well. So yassas, take care. If you like you from Jim, and we'll chat again. And don't forget, it's the Australia Day weekend. Let's make the most of it, celebrating all the beauties and all the wonderful things that we have here in Australia. And to remember that Australia is a wonderful country with many, many wonderful places to go and visit. And it's up to each and every one of us to search, to seek, and to achieve wonder with everywhere we go, and to look for the positive things everywhere we go, and not to the things that are not so positive. Yassas, thank you, and bye for now from Jim's 5am Club. Ciao.